order to do business with you. They break open your house one thing, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well hear this now, Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go, it come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go in a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us, viewers, as we say every night. Remember to share our live stream. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Facebook. TT, it's Real Talk. Subscribe and share. That is all we ask you to do every night. So, viewers, if you are looking to get a higher interest on your hard-earned cash, you can contact me. Now, for decades in Trinidad and Tobago, banks have been giving us, on a fixed deposit, 1%, 2%, 2.5% max. Some credit unions have been giving us 2%, 3% max. Now, at Real Talk, remember we have a group of companies, we have finance and investment. Recently, we had Real Talk Credit Union added on to the Real Talk brand. And we at Real Talk, we are giving you 4% on your fixed deposit. Now, you can either open a fixed deposit for under 5 years, which you may not get 4%, but if you open a fixed deposit with us for 5 years and over, you're going to get 4%. Now, the good thing about this fixed deposit is that you do not have to wait for your maturity date to get your interest rate. When you sign up with us, you will get your interest in a couple of days. In a couple of days, the officer that signed you up for a fixed deposit will call you and tell you to come collect your interest on your fixed deposit. Now, we at Real Talk, we have decided to do things differently. Now, you might open a fixed deposit for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And going down the road, you will realize, you know what, I might need to break this. So my strategy came up with the idea of, you know what, we're going to pay interest rate on fixed deposit up front. Now, thus far, Trinidad and Tobago, we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you your interest up front on a fixed deposit. So are you going to continue leaving your fixed deposit in the bank and get little and nothing when you could contact my office and set up an appointment to create a whole new fixed deposit where you can get your interest up front? Or you rather wait 10 years or 15 years and get 1%. So contact my office, viewers, 239-1670, 242-7690, 238-6716, or 267-7325. My staff is eagerly waiting, viewers, for you to call our office from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. We have the highest interest rate on fixed deposits, and we are also paid upfront. In saying that, you can also buy shares in our credit union. You can open a savings account, plant a seed today, so that later on you will be able to pick fruits from that tree. The viewers, Real Talk Credit Union is a growing credit union in Trinidad and Tobago. And I've said this many times, we are going to be opening branches of the Caribbean. Real Talk, there's Real Talk Finance and Investment in Trinidad, and we also have branches in Guyana also. So it's not a company that, it's not a financial institution, I should say, not only embedded in Trinidad, but we are also in Guyana and going up the Caribbean. I'm already in talks with different finance ministers
outside of Trinidad. I wouldn't say which country, but I'm going to surprise you. I want you to understand that we are not just in Trinidad. We are growing. Now, many people just want to see, sometimes they say, Saieed, carefully become the next Hindu credit union. I am not the next Hindu credit union. I have finance company in Guyana. So to start with, my stepping stone is in another country also, not just in Trinidad. And for many, lack of understanding is a serious thing, and that will be your downfall. Lack of understanding. Very soon, I'm going to have a finance company in Grenada and Barbados. Same thing as Real Talk Credit Union will be in Guyana, Grenada, and Barbados. I've already established in Guyana. At one point in time, I showed you documents that I received from Guyana, signed off. So Real Talk Credit Union is growing. Real Talk Finance and Investment is growing. We're not here just to stay in Trinidad. I am an individual with a vision. Finance is my thing, and we are expanding. Very soon we're going to be in Grenada, I could tell you that. I could give you a little heads up about it. So, I'm also a spiritual consultant. Viewers, those of you who having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me, set up an appointment with my office, and we will meet on a one-to-one basis. Privacy is a heck of a thing with Saieed. I want you to understand. So as we start our program tonight, viewers, a little about the Kamala and UNC. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar have stated that the United National Congress internal election will be held shortly. Speaking at the South Regional Family Day in celebration of the party's 35th anniversary at the South Ranch in Debe, Persad-Bissessar did not disclose the date of the election, but she said it will be called when constitutionally due, and her slate will win. The current national executive term for office will expire on June 26. Persad-Bissessar also revealed that the party is due to hold the next national executive election this year, and as a leader, she has always called for MITEX and all other elections when they are due in the party and in the country. So viewers, very soon, internal election for the UNs. Moving along. The days are counting down for the salvation of the Gulf Stream barge, which ran aground just off the coast of Cove in Tobago on February 7th. According to reports, 15,000 barrels of bunker fuel was vacuumed from the barge over the past 3 weeks. There are 21,000 gallons of frac tank on standby to continue the remaining fuel, to contain the remaining fuel inside the vessel until it can be shipped to Trinidad for storage. Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, Director Alan Stewart, said the containment stage is nearing the final line. When the cargo vessel is loading at the Scarborough port, there is no space for the oil tankers to pass through to offload the suction fuel to the barge to be sent to Trinidad. As a result, the team has had to adjust their timeline. Meanwhile, the island is wrapping up cleaning up operation 3 months into the disaster, which damaged 15 kilometers of coastline. So viewers, we're going to hear more about that maybe later on in the week when Tima gives us an update. So I want to ask you something, viewers. If the Auditor General or the Auditor General did her work and send it back to the Ministry of Finance, for more relevant information. I want to ask the question tonight. Why is the Attorney General pushing himself into work that the Auditors General have to do for the Ministry of Finance? Why is the Attorney General, Regional Armo, getting involved in it? Furthermore, why is it that the Auditors General report, financial report, in finding for 2023, not laid in the Parliament? Why is it not laid in the Parliament so the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago will know exactly where our money went while spending? This is what I want to know. Minister of Finance Clong and Burt have stated that persons need to await the outcome of independent investigation into the submission of the Auditor's General report on the 2023 public financial statement in Parliament before jumping to conclusion on this matter. In a post, Imbut asked, why is waiting for the investigation outcome so difficult? On April 26, Imbut succeeded in having a motion passed in the House of Representatives to extend the time to submit the public accounts to the Auditors General and the time for the Auditors General to submit a report on the accounts to Parliament. Imbut said it was necessary because his ministry officially detected a variance, an understatement of approximately $2.6 billion in the 2023 budget or the 2023 public financial statement. Auditor General Jayawanti Ramdas has since defended her conduct in the submission of her report on the 2023 public financial statement to Parliament, and in response of information provided by the Ministry or the Ministry of Finance or the Finance Ministry, however you want to call it, on the 2.6 billion understatement. Attorney Asha Ramlal said Ramdas claimed that she was under political attack and asked whether Armo would pay her legal costs. So here's the reason why I ask you Trinidad and Tobago, if Mrs. Ramdas is doing her job as the Auditor General for the Ministry of Finance and she submits her finance to Colin Imbut, why is Regional Armo coming into something that he's not supposed to? Why? And I've been looking at this very closely, very, very closely. Auditor General needs to do a 2023 statement. All information were passed. She found out that $2.6 billion, there is no account for it. Submit it back, and for all of a sudden the Attorney General jumps in. Oh, he's not to be intimidated, and oh, I feel this letter threatening. Nobody asked you to get in. And you see, this is the thing. This is the thing. You're leaving the pot where you is to jump in the fire. Jaiwanti is doing her job as the Auditor General for the Ministry of Finance. Now, when she sent a letter now, oh, it's threatening and I am not easily intimidated. There are supposed to be laws and legislations that are supposed to be coming to Trinidad and Tobago to address our own laws. But is the Attorney General doing that? No. The Attorney General jumps into finance. All of a sudden you jump into finance. All of a sudden Jaiwanti threatening you with a letter. Let me tell you something, Attorney General. Here what to do. You see the fire you want to be in? That is not your portfolio. Jump out back of it and look to better some laws in Trinidad and Tobago. Look to come about some new laws into catching criminals in Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, murderers can apply for bail. So, Attorney General, Regional Amo, here what's going on. You go back in that department and you sort out that to see if murderers could get bail. Find out. The Prime Minister didn't appoint you as the Finance Minister. What the hell you doing in finance? Go back into your law division. And if Jaiwanti received a letter from you and it is threatening, she have a right to ask you, Mr. Amo, are you going to pay my legal fees? You see, and this is the thing people getting tied up with. If somebody hire you to be the Attorney General, you be the Attorney General over the laws that govern Trinidad and Tobago. Don't jump into finance where you know nothing about. Don't jump into accounts when accounts is not your business. Leave that for the professionals. Leave that for Jaiwanti. Leave that for the Ministry of Finance and their whole portfolios. Oh, you find the letter threatening. Nobody asked you to go there in the first place. You see, the thing is with Trinidad and Tobago, these ministers and them feel because they are in position that they could say and do what they want. But little do they know, after 5 years in office, they're like some nowhereans on the streets. Nobody wants to hear about you because you served 5 years, and what did you do for the people of Trinidad and Tobago? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You will go there for 5 years and people would bother you. They wouldn't even bother with you again. But Saieed will stay here for 50 years, and in 50 years again, things done for Trinidad and Tobago. And that is the difference with our ministers and them. Murderers are applying for bail. A man who killed somebody 20 years in jail, and he back outside while family grieving for 20 years. Where's the hangman policy for the Amo? What are you doing about that? What are you going to do about that? There are other things that keep you more busy than looking into finance. Leave that for finance people. And this is where ministers just have their portfolio crossed. I understand you are the Attorney General, but Jaiwanti found something you couldn't find. And that's the difference. Jaiwanti can't bring about a law in the parliament, but Amo, you could. You could. So stop finding that all this letter threatening, and she want to threaten, and who want to threaten, and who want to sue. Right now, innocent people are being murdered in Trinidad and Tobago. Do we have a law for the hangman? No. But you're jumping in finance. Oh, I find it threatening. Oh, God, go back in your damn portfolio. If nobody is telling you that, I Saieed, I'm telling you that. You know why? He's a human being just like me. Your family could get gunned down just like my family could get gunned down. We are no different, Amo. We are no different. But the minister and his team found you fit to be the Attorney General. So be the Attorney General and legislate some new laws for murderers, for killers, for bandits. Did you answer Jaiwanti if you go pay her legal fees? Did you? Go back in finance, law department. Let Jaiwanti, Ramdas, and Colin Inbut sort out that problem. That 2.6 billion that nobody can give an account for, you back out, I know yours. When they do find the person, or when they do find out who is liable for that, well then you step in with your laws. Don't use your position to defend what Jaiwanti found. She working on behalf of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to bring forward the 2023 financial statement. And if there's a hole in it, Mr. Amo, don't defend the hole. Try and catch the person who created the hole. Try and find the person who is accountable for spending $2.6 billion. Because according to Jaiwanti, all you can't give an account. The ministry can't give an account. The ministry will fine. So what are you going to do? Who are you defending? Who are you defending? So don't be like a puppet and defend what you don't know. You have gun laws? How serious is the gun laws, Amo? You look at that. What do we have in place for when the magistrate found individual guilty of murder? We're going to send them in prison for the rest of their life? While the families are fine. Revamp the law, bring back the hangman. It have many things I could throw at you, Amo, that you would not be able to answer aside. I love my job, you know, just like you love yours. I have a passion for mine. I don't know about you, because you need here for 5 years. 6 years now I've been on the network with no financing from nobody. And I'm proud about that. So be proud of you being the Attorney General and serve your office with dignity. Remember, what is your job? Your job is not finance. Your job is Attorney General. And all again mistaken. I will hold all that accountable. Watch me good. Watch me good. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going straight into our Munilal issue after that.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Real Talk is offering you 4% on our fixed deposit for 5 years and over. Now, the good thing about this fixed deposit is that you are getting your interest payment up front. Yes, you heard me right. Up front, you're getting your interest payment. So you don't have to wait 5 years or 10 years. You don't have to. As long as you sign a check, your check is cleared, you will get your interest on your principal that you have invested in a fixed deposit at Real Talk. Now viewers, Real Talk Credit Union, be a member. Be a member, buy shares, open a savings account. Remember that, viewers. So, highest interest rate in Trinidad and Tobago is being paid by Real Talk. Remember that. We will match any and every fixed deposit financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, we are paying the highest rate interest rate in Trinidad and Tobago. Remember that. Now, United National Congress MP Rudal Munilal has stated that he cannot remember offhand the hundreds of landlords which the People's Partnership, the PP government, dealt with in property management, and that he has no aspirations on the elected MP from whom the government is currently renting property. However, Munilal has stressed that he is concerned about the finance ministry information on the matter, since he said the Auditor General unearthed the full scope of the rentals. Recently, Munilal stated that this involved reporting of renewal only by national security, with the finance ministry starting nil for rental by other ministries. He added that the Auditor's General investigation showed that the Agriculture and the Finance Ministry also rented buildings from MPs in the sum of $216,000. I'll listen to this.
We have a situation where I have what is purported to be Chapter 5 payments out of public monies to members of parliament. Members of parliament receiving public monies outside of their stipend, of their salary that we received. And what is remarkable here is that there's a particular member of parliament whose name I will not call now, but it is in the document that was sent to the three office holders, a member of parliament receiving rental property, $225,000 in fiscal 2023 for renting property. When they conducted this audit, the Auditor General, it was reported in writing that this member of parliament was only receiving rent for one particular building in, was it the National Security? In the Ministry of National Security. Do you know when the Auditor General actually conducted their own investigations now, pursuant to their statutory function? The government reported to the Auditor General that the particular member was receiving rent, presumably in his name, only from the Ministry of National Security, and other ministries were nil. They actually reported nil for other ministries. When the Auditor General conducted her investigation, then discovered that this member of parliament is indeed receiving another rent for a building to the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Fisheries that was not previously reported, a rent of $216,000.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I will bring it to you. You want to know how $2.6 billion went missing and the Ministry of Finance cannot give account for it? It's only on Real Talk you're going to hear it. Only on Real Talk you're going to hear it. Now, the minister stated that this involvement, reporting of rental only by the National Security, with the Finance Ministry stating nil for rental by other ministries. So is somebody lying on documents? Who in the ministry now is lying on documents? Munilal also revealed what is believed to be experts of the Auditor's General 2023 report that allege include payment of $752,000 yearly to an elected MP, non-minister, for the rental of a property over 2023. Listen to this and all of us see where the money going.
The one that really catch me too. The Ministry of Finance sent a document to the Auditor General saying, the Ministry of Finance sends a document to the Auditor General saying that this member of parliament only receiving for national security. Every other ministry is nil. You know what they discovered? The member was receiving money from the Ministry of Finance. Actually from the Ministry of Finance that failed to even report that the member was receiving a rent of $310,000 rental of property to the Ministry of Finance. What manner of madness is this? So they gave the Auditor General fake information, completely wrong, inaccurate, even about themselves. Why are they hiding that this member makes every year $752,000 in rent from the government? When you break that down, divided by 12, he receives more money, more income per month than the Prime Minister. Then the Prime Minister is here in the report sent to the Speaker, the President of the Senate, and the Minister of Finance from the Auditor General.
So when they ask the big question, where did $2.6 billion go? Right here, you're going to get all the facts. Right here on Real Talk, viewers, you're going to get all the facts. You see what other stations and radio stations and things, where they refuse to report? Let me tell you something. I will bring it straight to you. Straight to you. So, Mr. Regional Armo, I want to ask you a question. Hear this. You concerning the laws of Trinidad and Tobago, okay? Good. You governing under the laws of Trinidad and Tobago? Okay, good. If a minister or a non-minister, right, submit evidence or documents that have false information, is that not conspiracy? So what thing? How do you call it again, Amo? Amo, I want to hear you respond to this. Is that not conspiracy to defraud? Good. Who said a big word side you? You see, I will tell you something. When an individual go to the bank and they submit a fake check or a false check, a fraudulent check, then let me say, right? You know what frauds, what they say? Conspiracy to defraud whatever bank of so much and so much money. Trinidad and Tobago, I love my job, you know. I love my job, you know. So, Amo, whoever it is submitted that documents now to the Auditor General. Conspiracy to who? Conspiracy to what? Now, Amo, since you are the Attorney General now of Trinidad and Tobago, according to Munilal, Mr. Regional Amo, here's what I want you to do. Find out who is the person that submitted that fake report, according to Munilal, to the Auditor General. And then follow the paper trail. And while the paper trail is going along, I love how my good friend Faraz Al-Rawi will say, let's follow the money. Amo, and we will follow the money. Come Trinidad and Tobago. Allah, open up all your eye. Don't just vote a party. Don't just pay taxes. Find out what the party is doing with the taxpayers' money. That's why they can't come wrong me, you know. Let me tell you something. Money can't buy outside, you know. They can't. Saieed managing a finance and investment company. What came under our portfolio? Recently, I became the president of Real Talk Credit Union. So, Amo, come good, you know. You see, Amo, I will congratulate you. You just look good in your suit. You just look presentable. You understand? But use your head. Use your head and not your big toe. Conspiracy to what? Follow the document. And we will see where $2.6 billion went. Trinidad and Tobago. I am the only man mouth in 1.4 million people that can't zip. You know why? God made sure that they cannot zip my mouth. Oh, before I get all heated up, but while I in the heat, we're looking for Barry or Barry Collins. Barry Collins, I believe. Barry Collins. Collins, Barry, Augustine. Anybody know this individual? Hey, we had a picture of the car? Trinidad and Tobago are also looking for this vehicle. Are also looking for this vehicle. PDD 7900. It's a red Tida. A reddish orangish Tida. I'm looking for that also. So Barry. Don't hide. Don't hide. Barry. Put that back, Barry. Barry. I'm giving you till tomorrow to contact me. Otherwise, I will tell Trinidad and Tobago what you did. I'm telling you, I'll put you on spot. I, Saieed Ali, will tell Trinidad and Tobago what you did, and after we go see the amount of reward we put in on television. But I just tell her, don't play with me, you know, I'm a different kind of man, you know. Come back to me direct. I'm a different kind of man, you know. As a man that do spirit work, you know, and I just tell people, you want to come and do business? Let me do business straight. You see, from the time you swerve with business, well, you swerve with me one time. I just tell you that. Up front, I will tell you that. So, Barry, you have until tomorrow. Contact me, come in my office. Otherwise, how would they say? A bounty for a bounty hunter? That's how we they say it. Public vehicle one more time. Just the front of it. Looking for this vehicle. It's a Nissan hatchback Tida PDD 7900. So Barry come in and talk to me before I put a price on that vehicle. And you know, Saieed is a man that's get what he want. So we're going back to our script. So while going to our script, viewers, we have some we have some badge on. Some young badge on. You're trying to go the video. We have some young badge ons. Cool children. Some from La Romaine, some from Marabella. I want Trinidad and Tobago, keep your eyes closely on this youth man that pulling a knife. Keep your eyes closely on the youth man that pull out the knife. Look at that. The youth man in question is the one straight up to the fellow with the jacket. Watch that, eh? It's a knife he pull out in his hand. And he slapped the young boy with, you know. It's a knife, you know. Call her good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Hi, good night, Saieed. I just wanted to highlight a matter, of the topic a little bit that's happening in Rio Claro area. What happened is this matter had resulted in attempt of murder. Someone had sprayed poison with a spray can, right, onto a relative of mine, and proceeding to go to the Rio Claro station. The station, however, told me and other relative, go back home, they will come on the report while we were rushing this relative to the doctor, right? And they never showed up. When I went back, we went back to the station, they're telling us it's a land dispute from what they're hearing, this and that. And they're not taking reports at all, right? On several occasions, this is happening, and this problem and this matter is leading to, as I say, murder, issues. And the Rio Claro station apparently not taking reports at all, because if they take the report, they don't even want to give you a receipt. I had to beg for a written receipt, which they write on a copybook page for me. I had to beg somebody to sign it in the station, which they told me come back the other day and collect a receipt. When I go back, they are acting as they don't know who I am. And when they check the diary, there's nothing of my report that was made.
Wow.
And the problem continues, right? They pelting down houses, they put in poisonous substance in your tank of water, right? Children got sick recently, and the adults that was in the home, right? These people are living in the road area in Rio Claro. And right now, presently, the Rio Claro station is not doing anything about it. And we were threatened by an officer now. That came on a report when I had called urgently, 999 I called, and we were threatened by her, and she said, do not come back to the Rio Claro station, and stop calling the station on any occasion whatsoever. So following up, I had to deal and meet with the inspector. However, the matter still continues this way, which is Mr. Ragbear. So I have no idea where to turn or what to do. And my relatives, which they are living in their place in fear. They have kids all under the age of 5, which are all being tracked to even murder cases. They're telling them they'll murder their kids and all kind of thing. It's horrible side. Horrible. I just wanted to know if I could meet with you or call you or anything to get some advice.
Hold on. Somebody in 999 threatened you?
No. When I called the 999, because the Rio Claro station is not taking any reports, I called 999 on an emergency. The house was getting stoned down, right? And when they come on the site at the home, which is the officers from Rio Claro station, they instructed me, which was a woman police officer and my other relatives, do not call back the Rio Claro station and do not come back and make another report. Right? And stating, do not even bother to call the station for the rest of the night. And telling me things like, go back in your house.
Hold on, darling. You have any video camera footage?
Said, I have video cameras, and I have I have footage of the gentleman that's spraying the substance onto the person and stuff.
So, Rio Claro station, nobody's doing anything?
No, I took in the video of the gentleman with the spray can on his back, spraying into my premises and spraying the relative of mine with the poisonous liquid that we rushed to the hospital. And when I took the video to them, all they told me it's a land dispute, ma'am, and they never showed up. Never. But what is happening is there's a CAD march thing in our area. All the police involved with, yeah.
Take this number, 267-7325.
Okay, yeah.
267-7325.
Yes, I have the number.
WhatsApp me the videos, right? When you get some time,
I will.
When you get some time, come down and see me. So,
yes, I wanted to come and see you because I'm getting very irritated by it because it's starting to make a toll on me. I'm studying. If I have to maybe sell my property and leave, all these kind of things is very uncomfortable.
Thank you, my darling. Come and see me. Bring the footage also.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Don't come back to the station. But after tonight, I want to hear what the seniors. Let me tell you something. When she give me that footage, I will show it on television. You know? Take what I'm telling her. So help my living God. I will show it on television. So the female officer said, don't come back in the station and make no report. So I want to ask, anyhow, let me see the footage. Let me see the footage of the female police officer. Let me tell you something. If you did not intend to serve and protect citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, do not go to the police service. Do not sign up for the Coast Guard. Do not sign up for the Army. Because you swear on your mother and your father's grave to protect the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago with your life. And if you're using your office to tell me don't come back in the station, darling, you make a big mistake. It best you resign your work and go home. Take what I'm telling you. Because I'll tell you something, God have a way. I've seen it happen many, many times. God have a way in turn in a wrong situation, you know. I saw where police had to resign the force and fly out for their life, you know. They quite telling all you. Big corporal, big inspector, they had to resign and fly out. Not because you're a police, you go threaten the office, and no, it are people who just like light. Now when I show you this light when current go, this is where you're going. It are people like me who just take things serious. It are people like me who just like light. So people will get justice. So we're going back to the video with the children and them. So look at this video, good Trinidad and Tobago. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 young boys gang up against one individual in a blue jacket. One youth man went and stabbed him, pull out a knife, walk up to him. When the youth man in the blue jacket backing out, watch the young boy. Watch the young boy. So Trinidad and Tobago, come back to me direct. We call that young criminals in the making. Young criminals in the making. I heard that they attend Marabella South. Some of the boys seen in the video from our school in La Romaine. But what I want to tell the parents of that young boy, does that young boy know what life, the meaning of life is? Does that young boy have any value or substance in his life? So I directed this question to the mother and the father. I got some information about the father. I got some information about the father and the neighborhood, how they live. So what I want to ask the mother and the father and the brother and the sister. Let me tell you something about a little jail. When I sentence you, you just been a little 10 by 10, 10 by 12, about 10 man. This is going to the mother, the father, and the next brother. Even the grandfather, the grandmother, the whole damn family. When I sentence you, you go into prison. Big man prison, eh? You're in a 10 by 10, 12 cell, 10 by 10, with about 2 mattresses on a double decker. And you're sleeping on the floor. 10 man in a cell, 9 man in a cell, 2 double decker. 1 person per double decker. The rest, anyone on the floor, you can lie down and make yourself comfortable, make yourself comfortable. You will urinate in a pigtail bucket in a corner. That same pigtail bucket where you're urinating in, you will sit down and you do your number 1 and your number 2 in that same pigtail bucket. So I want to ask the mother and the father, if that little boy ends up in YTC, what are you going to do? Young man outside now. When he ends up in YTC, when judge make a ruling of evidence, so I'm asking the father, are you going to be worried of who is abusing him or threatening him or probably slapping him in the cell? Are you going to be worried? I'm asking mommy now, are you going to be worried about your little son? Because inside here, nobody care where you come from. Nobody care who's your father. Nobody care where you're eating home. It's what we could get from you while you're inside here. So I want to ask Daddy, who's the strong one and the mighty one, and the Goliath. If that little boy's end up inside now for a couple years, what are you going to do to help him inside? Daddy, What you going to do to help that little son behind closed doors with a set of strangers? What mommy and daddy going to do to protect you inside it? Go to the video. What is mommy and daddy going to do to protect this little man behind closed doors? You want to meet criminal? You want to be a criminal? Well, then you need to be treated like a criminal. And I will tell you something. I'll tell you something. You see, under 18, under the age of 18, when they catch you in a public place with a knife or a gun, what is the purpose of that knife? Look at this video closely. He run down the boy and slap him, you know. It's a knife the young man have in his hand. It's a knife. Come back to me, direct. Is mommy and daddy going to protect you there? Because I will tell you something. If you don't know what bad man is about, inside you will meet them. You will meet them inside. You know why? One little foolish act like when you do will put you inside it for 5 years. One foolish act. You know what I just tell my kids and them? I have a big son who is 16. And I just tell him, if you get caught up with the law and you wrong, you will go to whitey until you reach 18 and go to big man prison. Don't call daddy name, you know. Don't call daddy name. Because daddy have been telling you, stay out of trouble. You going with your friends, watch how they're moving, watch how they're lying. When trouble start, back out. Because tell yourself, your father will let you go wrong from the time you instigate. You see, I have worked 17 years of my life to build a name as Saieed Ali, who has a trusted name in Trinidad and Tobago. And no children ain't coming to break Saieed Ali's name. None. So I want to tell the mother and the father of that young man now. I want to tell the mother and father of that young man, if police pick him up and he ends up in white, you see, what are they doing to protect that boy inside? Bad man daddy, what you doing? I don't know if you have been to prison or not. And I don't know if you were your son sit down inside it too for 5 years. I don't know. So I hear a little incident take place in our school today where the badger and the father beat up the next young boy and the father. Let me tell you something. It have plenty bad man outside here that play bad, and when I reach inside it, there's humble yourself and there's cry tears. You know why? For 5 years you're locked up. And for 5 years, you have to go in a corner and urinate in a bucket. And for 5 years, when you're done there, you sit down right there and you're passing your number 2. And you hear a man tell you, boy, you stink, boy. Your number 2 smelling, boy, cut that. You have no other choice but to cut that and lie down in the ground. So I want to tell daddy and mommy, train your son. Because as much as he playing bad, and as much as the father might want to play bad, there is something that is called swing back. There is something they call swing back. And many of you don't know what that is. Swing back, I would say in criminal activity, is you're going to meet your maker. Because if bandit are deal with you, the police got deal with you, and at the end are you. Foolish. Call her good night. Hello, good night. So parents, the bad man fathers, would you like your son to end up in prison or to be better off than you? To the mothers, you taught your son for 9 months. 9 months you bear the pain and the suffering, and you give birth to your son, and you nurture him and you watch him grow up. You go watch somebody take his life? Young? Would you watch somebody abuse your son that you spend 9 months in labor for? No, you would not. You would not. So is Marbella school, do they have gangs in the school? You know, this is my favorite topic, you know. Is there gangs in Marbella school? And what the hell is the police doing? That is what I want to ask the Marbella station. That is what I want to ask. So the Marbella station, all you need evidence? I could send it for all you. I could send it for all you. Because I hear a phone call was made and I hear the officer tell them, you know, I was on lunch. You was on lunch? Somebody should pull a knife for your son and see if the lunch will help you. You would leave the lunch, you would leave the hot tea, you would leave the chocolate, you will leave everybody in the station, and you will go look for your son in school who is being abused. Am I correct, officer? So treat this matter as if was your son being abused. And I don't care how bad the daddy is, or how bad the mother is, or how bad the grandmother and the grandfather is. Always keep in mind that all you wouldn't like the reverse side of it. All you wouldn't like that. Because I just tell my 16-year-old son, if you look for your trouble and have jail involved, you will deal with it. Don't break Saieed's name. Because I have dealt with good people. I have dealt with bad people. I have dealt for the unjust people getting justice in Trinidad and Tobago. And you see, when I see little boys, young boys, throwing away their life by pulling a knife and looking for fight, I just ask all of you, have you ever spent a night in prison? Have you? So I want a daddy and the mother to pick up that young boy who wants to pull a knife and stab and carry him in a police station and tell the officer, keep him inside there for the night and see what's going to happen. That story is done yet because I follow it. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, there's a rerun of this program tomorrow. And we'll be right back here on Tuesday night for Tune It Up.